Good evening and welcome to the UNC Greensboro Soccer Complex in Greensboro, North Carolina for the Division III Men's Soccer National Championship game. It's a battle of New England and the NESCAC as these two conference rivals face off for only the second time in their respective NCAA tournament histories. The Amherst Mammoths enter 19-1-2 against the defending champ Tufts Jumbos, who are 19-2-2. I'm David McHugh alongside Ira Thor. Amherst is in just its second ever national championship game, but they won their last visit back in 2015. That win started an incredible run for the NESCAC, winning 4 of the next 5 championships. The Mammoths have confidence coming into this battle, not only knocking off Center in the semifinals 3-0, but they beat Tufts earlier this season 2-1 in overtime. In the meantime, the Tufts Jumbos have won 3 championships since 2016. And speaking of confidence, they knocked off Calvin in the semifinal 4-0 in a one-sided rematch of last year's title game. The Jumbos are also the conference champions and have won 11 in a row. In fact, they've only lost 4 games since October of 2016. It's a conference battle for the national championship. The only thing we do know is the NESCAC will be home of the Walnut and Bronze in men's soccer this season. Ira, the semifinals turned out to be a lopsided affair more than we expected.
Yeah, and we saw yesterday that one player can absolutely change a game. For Amherst, keep an eye on Herman Giamatti. First team All-American yesterday showed that he is certainly the real deal, just a sophomore, rewriting the Amherst record books. You're going to see some of the highlights here, including this remarkable goal. After the rebound off the post, basically does a 360 around 3 defenders. This was probably the highlight of his 3. And earlier this year when Amherst beat Tufts, he actually scored just 11 seconds into overtime to quickly end it. So if there's one player you need to keep an eye on if you're Tufts, and they are aware of it, it is Giamatti. Meanwhile, Tufts in a rematch yesterday of last year's national final. It was, as you said, one-sided. 4 different players picked apart the Calvin defense. Meanwhile, the Tufts defense did such a good job of covering each other that they limited the chances against one of the high-scoring teams in all of Division III.
Should be a great game here tonight, but it's different styles, Ira. We saw Amherst yesterday with more an aggressive approach. As you see, one of the prettiest goals we have seen in this tournament is that one hooks into the corner. That was the 3rd one for Tufts, and it was all over after that. But again, Amherst comes in with an aggressive take. They're going to be on you. They're going to be aggressive. They're going to be in your face. Whereas Tufts, a little bit more of a finesse team. They're going to get back on defense. They're going to stifle that attack, and then they're going to come right back at you.
Amherst style defense may be annoying if you're the opponent because they are always in your face. They're basically playing a full court press like you do in basketball. But to do that for 90 minutes on a 120-yard soccer field and to not get exhausted, it is absolutely remarkable what Justin Serpone's squad has been able to do. He won his 200th career game yesterday. He is the chair of the national committee.
I think he do much work.
Well, maybe he can hand himself the trophy.
That's a fair point.
That could possibly happen here today. But Tufts, which has not won a national title in an odd number year, would like to see that change today.
Yeah, they have won in 2016. Well, hold on. Let me make sure. 2014, 2016, and 2018. I said that Amherst had started that magical NESCAC run. It really dates back to 2014.
I mean, they'd like to get a head start on 2020 by winning this year.
Yes, exactly.
But Amherst, who knows Tufts so well, would like to put a stop to that today. This is a game we've been looking forward to.
Tufts is in the road blues. You got a little bit of brown trim, it appears, on those jerseys. They're going left to right across your screen. Whereas Amherst is in the home whites like they were yesterday with the purple ribbon kind of looking across the chest of their uniforms. And they're going right to left.
I should note that we have identical starting lineups from yesterday. Of course, why would you change anything when it's working so well? But it should be noted for Amherst, starting goalkeeper Bernie White yesterday potentially broke his nose at probably about 2/3 of the way through the game, actually came out, and Kofi Hope Gunn finished the game and played great. But White is not going to miss this game, not going to miss a national championship. He's probably uncomfortable. There you see.
Well, not wearing a mask, so that's a good sign.
Not wearing a mask. It's not confirmed that it's broken, but that's what, speaking of head coach,
they don't want to tell us.
Justin Serpone thinks it may be. But you're not going to keep a keeper like White out of this game. Too big of a moment, and he was absolutely fantastic.
We'll get you starting lineups in just a moment. Of course, the 2 goalies we were just talking about, White, he comes in. having played and started in 19 games this season, 9 goals against, a 0.48 goals against average, 65 saves for an .878 save percentage. He's 16-1-1 on the year. He had 8 shots and 7 saves against Tufts earlier this season. 8 shots, 7 saves, correct, as he gave up just 1. Starting goalie for the Jumbos, it's Eric Kinderman, 6-foot sophomore out of Rockville, Maryland. 187 minutes plus this season. 0.62 goal against average, 76.9 save percentage.
And if you weren't watching the game yesterday and have not seen Amherst play before, watch Bryce Johnson, the right back with the flip throw that can absolutely change a game.
The game, absolutely. Talking to a couple committee members saying, man, I'd love to have that kind of weapon at my disposal as well. Again, these two teams know each other well. They play in the NESCAC. 4 NESCAC teams actually made the tournament this year and had to deal with each other. If I'm not mistaken, Tufts had to come out of their own end. Yeah, what did you see, sir?
Just for those who are not aware, you saw Tufts number 5, Joe Braun, the first team All-American, has a broken hand, and he has been wearing that cast for much of the season. Hasn't affected his ability on the field, though. Certainly a player to look out for Tufts. Didn't score yesterday, but they are so deep, so many different guys to score. But Braun, 6 goals, 6 assists, 18 points on the season. He's got 4 game-winning goals, so cast or not, he's a player to look out for.
Again, we'll get you lineups here as we get underway. Again, the Tufts uniforms are those blue ones with the white stripes, the brown numbers on them, I'll admit. Not the easiest numbers to see, despite the color contrast. They're tight and small, and Amherst is in the whites. We'll talk about Amherst in those whites. Come in ranked number 1 in the USA, or in the United States Coaches Association poll, number 4 in the D3Hoops.com poll. The Mammoths purple and white.
D3 soccer.
In the D3 soccer. Did I say hoops there by accident? I apologize.
Well, you got hoopsville going on tomorrow.
For Amherst, their starters include Kyle Kelly, the number 1. He's a 6'2 defensive junior out of Scotts Plain, New Jersey. Number 5, Bryce Johnson, the 6'1 junior out of Plano, Texas on defense. Dane Lind, who's certainly an important part of this attack, 6'2 senior midfielder out of Plano, Texas. Dane Lind's out of San Juan Capistrano, California. I apologize. Looked at somebody else's name there for a second. That's just not helpful. Alex Shamirzadeh, the 5'10 sophomore midfielder out of Fairfax, Virginia. Number 9, the man that we talking about all night, Hermaine Giamatti, the 6-foot sophomore forward out of Pinecrest, Florida, as you get a threat into the box, and already seen a little pushing and shoving from these two teams. The official's going to come up and immediately have a comment with the Tufts player, who nice little shove in the back there. Number 10, Cutler Coleman, the 5'7 midfielder senior out of Winter Park, Florida. Felix Wu, the 6'3 defensive junior out of Bethesda, Maryland. Number 16, Sebastian Derby, the 5'7 forward junior out of San Pedro Garcia, Mexico. Number 23, Adu Okorogeye, the 5'11 freshman midfielder, the 6'11 freshman forward out of London, UK. And Gabe Gittler, the 6'3 junior out of San Diego, California. We mentioned Bernie White.
Something that should be noted for Amherst, Kyle Kelly's really been the key to that defense. The only player who has started all 22 games on the season in the back. In fact, the only player on the team, period, who has started every game this year. Been a big part of that cog in the backfield for Amherst, that back line. That is really the key of this smothering defense that will get in your face, not give you any space to work with. That style of play, however, as this ball is played in,
opportunity, Tufts will head it out of the box.
Can be overly physical, and yesterday the officials were right on it. They pulled 7 cards in the Amherst Center game, 5 of them to Amherst.
Yeah. For the Jumbos, they'll start number 2. They're one of the co-captains, Gavin Tasker, 5'11 senior out of Concord, Massachusetts. Number 3, Will Raphael, the 6'2 sophomore out of Andover, Massachusetts. Number 5, Joe Braun, the 6'5 senior out of Yardley, Pennsylvania. Number 7, Jack Lane, the 6-foot senior out of Lansing, Michigan. Number 10, Brent Rojas, as we get the big flip throw here. All the way into the box, and Tufts, yeah, we've seen that before, and clears it out. Coming back in, though, it's in trouble, having to go up for his Kinderman. Good job there as he had to battle. It looked like Coleman, who may have gotten in there. We were mentioning number 10, Brent Rojas. We'll see this again.
You can see the
putback
line
here.
drive here.
Yeah, that putback by Coleman, I apologize. Is that?
Yeah,
16.
He's going up against Derby, but
Derby.
It's a great serve by Coleman,
yes,
forcing Kinderman off his line.
So Rojas is out of Madison, New Jersey, the 6'3 senior. Number 13, Travis Van Brewer, the 5'7 junior out of Wilbraham, Massachusetts. As we get some contact on the sideline, and they're going to call a foul here on on Amherst number 7, Dane Lind, who looks a little surprised by the call.
Dane Lind was saying that was all ball, and he's getting a talking to from our lead official, Brian Miller.
Almost see like Brian Miller saying that's the second time. Let's see. That's not it.
That's a foul.
That's a foul.
Yeah.
He got ball.
Yeah, that's not
after he got foot. He did get ball. I will give him that he got ball.
He got ball before the foul.
But he got foot before he got ball.
Appreciate the aggressiveness.
Oh, nice back heel. It wasn't even a heel. It was a over the top of the ball. And nice move there. Gave Braun a heck of a look. Watch him step over the ball here.
Braun does a nice job
of overlapping.
On the poke back, coming through 2-touch, but
that was lane.
I'll tell you what, that's why you need Bernie White in this game. 6'5" frame, and he's just so experienced back there. Just a sophomore. He's playing in front of a senior in Will Dunn and a junior in Hope Gunn, who we mentioned earlier. He's got a tremendous save percentage on the year, 873 coming in to this weekend.
Gavin Rowe, by the way, 6'3" defensive junior, number 20 from Glastonbury, Connecticut, as we get a tripping foul called on the Jumbos as we've started this aggressively. The other co-captain, number 23, Tanner Jamison, 6' senior out of Pittsford, New York. Number 24, Drew Stern, the 5'11 senior out of Potomac, Maryland. Number 27, Ian Daly, the 6' sophomore out of Albany, California. And as we mentioned here, in goal for the Jumbos, Eric Kinderman, the 6' sophomore out of Rockville, Maryland. Started now he's played in 12 games and started 11. Playing for Will Harn, who is not seen as much action later in the season.
I'm keeping an eye on the formation here for Tufts, which traditionally starts in roughly a 4-5-1 type shape, with Braun being obviously the target. But obviously,
when they're in the offensive look, it's definitely more aggressive than a 4-5-1.
Yeah, it's
definitely their more defensive look.
It's going to be interesting with this, how well these teams know each other, how often this shape is going to change throughout the game. They've only played once in the NCAA tournament, which is crazy to think about with how deep some of the runs these teams have made. That was in 2018. Which was last year, actually.
Conversation from our official again with players.
That was Tufts in the Sweet 16, edging Amherst 2-0.
These guys are going to officiating staff's going to get a workout today. These two teams know each other way too well. And that can be a good thing. That can also, as in this case, that can breed a little contempt. Service into the 12-ish area. And that was, hold on. Got an opportunity there from Braun. And trying to get it out for the second time. Now we're going to call interference on Van Brewer. It was Okorogege, who was initially on the head and then trying to get it out.
Hopefully one of us says that name correctly at some point today.
Okorogege. I don't know what your problem is. Let's go. Okorogege.
This is a pronunciation challenge.
Oh, no, it is. Yeah, I say that tongue in cheek. It is not the easiest of names, but he is certainly a good player. And we have been saying his name quite a bit this weekend.
Yeah, and something I want to talk about throughout this game at times is a really fascinating piece in the New York Times that was published earlier this season. Actually, it's back in November by Bill Pennington. He did a story on the cost of diversifying college rosters.
Yes.
And it was a full feature on Amherst, how they've made a concentrated effort there to try to recruit players from all over the country, from areas that traditionally have not gone to Amherst, and from all over the world. You got obviously Okorogeye, who's a London, UK native, but they have players from Mexico on this roster and from overseas. But there was a huge portion of this article where they talked about Justin Serpone and the lengths that he goes to try to identify some non-traditional Amherst students. And You know, he has put a lot of effort into diversifying his roster specifically. There's other teams, of course, who are all discussed in the article, but you know, Amherst has got 27 varsity sports, and they were talking about how Serpone would go to tournaments, you know, in Maryland and elsewhere, and specifically try to identify student athletes who can help his Amherst program and also help just improve the culture.
Yeah.
Fascinating article. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. I tweeted it out on my personal Twitter, Ira P. Thor, but you could also Google it as well. It's just great story, and nice to see that schools are making an effort. This is the whole point of the article, is that it's a choice.
Lift over the top, opportunity. Oh, just mishandled. Missed opportunity. Zach Lane knows it. Lane knew he had it, and he just mischested it. Otherwise, he's off to the races right down the middle of the field. He'll get at the top, tries to go quick one time back. Unfortunately, there were 3 mammoths sitting there to shut things down. We'll get this out of the way earlier. Yes, a foul, but didn't need that kind of demonstration to it.
I'm actually surprised that we're 12 minutes in and you haven't mentioned the fact that we have a meeting of pachyderms.
You just ruined it. Just go in there. Said we might as well get this out of the way. It's a battle of pachyderms. It is mammoths versus jumbos. The jumbos being the older of the 2 pachyderms.
Well,
the mammoth's still a youngin'. They're about 3 years old.
Baby mammoths, in terms of mascots.
Yes.
They used to be called something else. But they're not
interesting service.
But they're not the Eves.
Is Gabe Gittler looking to put this in the box? He is. Look at this, all the way into the 6.
Wow, that's
unfortunately,
a long serve.
Outshot his group. Like, he was aiming to put that about 12, I think, and he got a little too much on it. Amherst.
If he got it to probably the 8, he could have allowed somebody to potentially run onto it.
Yeah, like I said, about 8 or 12 yards, I think, is where he was aiming, and he didn't intend to put that at 5 yards out, which made it an easy scoop for Kinderman. Jumbos again. I was talking to a couple committee members prior to the game. We were talking about, you know, these 2 teams obviously know each other well, and Amherst has these abilities to spring themselves downfield. And obviously that long throw in the flip throw we talked about. The difference is by the time you set those things up, Jumbos have already gotten defensively into position. They've already slid into the 4-5-1. If Amherst wants to beat the Jumbos, it's got to be in transition. It's got to be moving up the field quickly. It can't be in a boot and run, because Jumbos are going to be all over that every time.
Yeah, and that's something that Tufts does so well. The second that they lose possession, they are immediately into their shape.
And Kinderman with the boot.
And to just watch them keep it throughout, up and down the field. It's a beautiful part of this game.
We'll also keep an eye on how well Jumbos guard Herman Giamatti. He now has 26 goals in the season, 5 assists, 57 points on 116 shots, 54 of them on goal, and he's got 10 game winners.
If he scores one more, he will actually become the NESCAC's all-time leading goal scorer. He's tied with Alex Blake of Williams, who scored 26 back in 2001.
You mean in a season?
In a season.
Right, not in a career.
Oh, it's coming.
That'd be a record or something.
It's coming.
It's definitely coming. Of course, you see the cast there on Braun's right hand. Not that it affects him tremendously in this game, though I think he tried to use it as a shoving tool earlier, and he got caught for the foul. It's at least correctly colored, just like the uniform. You got to give him credit.
Well, it's nice when everything matches.
Nice back heel that time, but unfortunately a little too close to the defense. Second championship of the day. Division III women's soccer crowned not even a new champion. They crowned a champion who's been champion 5 times prior. Messiah Falcons won their 6th, defeating the William Smith Herons. Nice through ball here. Opportunity for Lind, and a little too low and headed out of bounds by Coleman, though the first corner kick threat here from the Jumbos as you take a look there at Dane Lind, a California native who has an assist, 2 assists against Tufts in the matchup earlier this season. Then Amherst won 2-1. By the way, guess who scored those 2 goals? If you said Giamatti, you are correct.
Including the winner 11 seconds into OT.
Oh, yeah. I mean, talk about ending overtime quick. And we're going to have a delay here as our officials going to have a conversation about proper protocol and behavior on the goal line. And he's talking to the two shortest guys on the line.
Well, this defense for Amherst, Kelly, Johnson, Coleman, Wu have logged 19 or more starts. They're the ones who are going to lead this corner kick defense.
Bending in at the 6, headed on, but also downward and not a threat, goes out of bounds. Yeah, again, Messiah winning the national championship over William Smith. What's significant there is Messiah's only loss of the season had come to William Smith exactly 3 months ago today. They lost 2-0 in that affair. Today they won 1-0, though they had a scare seconds after they had scored. It nearly was tied at 1, but they dominated in the second half, controlling the ball, even though the stats don't necessarily indicate that. They certainly controlled the ball well and stymied the Herons' attack, and they are your 2019 national champs. One of these two teams will be that, hopefully in 90 minutes playing action time. Again, the Jumbos back here yet again. They have never lost a championship game, and technically neither has Amherst, as they've been to one. And really, Ira, we mentioned this yesterday, Amherst could have been here so many other times. If you look at just the last 2 postseasons alone, they're 7-1. You look at the last 3 postseasons, they're 6-2-1, 9-2-1. If you look at the last 4 postseasons, you go back to 2018, they're 25-8-8. Since 2015, they're 13-2-2. As the ball goes out of bounds, they have had just some bad luck as the losses have come late.
What did you see there, by the way, that you don't typically see from your superstar forwards?
You got a stoppage due to a shoe falling off. A shoe falling off?
No. Giamatti, your target, coming all the way back inside basically the 6 and defending.
No, it's Giamatti's shoe that came off. I think his shoe was confused as to where the location.
Well, his shoe came off because he was doing his job.
Yeah. Well, his shoe was confused. Why are we in this?
But you have so many strikers who
I agree with
do not come back and defend. They don't buy in.
I think they're getting a kick out of the fact that Giamatti had to redo his shoe.
Well, it's the only way to defend him is to have him lose his cleats.
Giamatti will actually go up forward and take the defense out of the mix here. 2 defenders went back to foul Giamatti as this ball got headed at the 6, and they'll get double headed there by Sebastian Derby before going out of bounds for a throw-in.
Kid's only a sophomore.
I know.
He's already one of the most dynamic players that I have seen in Division III in at least a decade.
The purple and white are very happy to have him as a threat for 2 more years, hopefully.
Now,
picked up his first yellow card yesterday, too. I think that's, considering his play and the attention that he gets, I found that surprising.
He's held his temper all year. You know, sometimes you can get a little testy up top.
There's the flip throw that went 60 yards. Well, shade under. 55, we'll call it. Is a foul called on Amherst for holding. I think they called Lind. Lind is aggressive. He's going to try and get away with things.
No, the ball, I don't think the ball ever went in.
No, it had to, or they would have reset. Would have gone, no. They would have given the throw in either down the other end or had him rethrow. It went in. It may have tailed back out. They did give a throw in, so that wasn't a foul. You're right.
One thing you're going to see with Bryce Johnson, and even though he's the right back, he'll take it from the left side of the field, so he's got to get all the way across the pitch and then back.
Right.
If not, Tufts can counter real quick, and there'd be 1 defender down on that side.
Granted, you can switch your guys if you need to, but you're right. He's on that side. Great slide tackle there, all ball. Out of bounds. Will be another corner here for the Jumbos. And they are bringing up all of their defense and sliding 2 midfielders back on, as you see one of them coming back there. You see Drew Stern, one of those midi defenders, coming back. He's going to mark up on Giamatti. So they bring up all their height, and they sag back their midfield here to try and get the advantage. It's Rojas with the in-swinger, but it didn't get very high. Easily defended by Amherst.
Yeah, he left that too short. Allowed Amherst to clearly clear that out without much effort. But
coming in, though. A good battle in front, but it gives Bernie White the chance to pick it up. That battle, though, is going to draw the attention of our official to discuss. Gentlemen, I gave it to you a little bit, but we're not going to let that keep going. You see him finishing off the conversation at the bottom of your screen as White boots it upfield.
And you see how comfortable White is with the ball at his feet.
Oh, absolutely.
Tosses it out there like a sack and ready to attack it.
You mentioned Bernie White starting over a senior and the junior. Did you notice the heights on those all three gentlemen?
Oh, all of them. They're all playing for the Amherst basketball team.
Yeah, they're all 6'4" or higher. Aaron Toomey, the head coach of that men's basketball team, family from the Greensboro area. They've been in attendance for these games. I believe Aaron's a little too busy being the interim men's basketball coach. Dave Hickson with a year off.
Sabbatical.
Yep. Oh, feeling rushed there and kicking it in a hurry was Coleman. So Jumbos are going to maintain possession here a little bit on the attack.
I think Coleman overran the ball there and kind of got lucky that Braun didn't counter.
Fair. Less than 24 and a half minutes left to go. We're nearly halfway through this first half. As that's going to draw a foul. Trying to gain position, Rojas decided to focus on the player and Gittler and shoved Gittler before even getting close to the ball.
Gittler, the junior out of San Diego, did a nice job of holding his ground there and forcing the frustration. That's what caused the foul.
You don't want to get focused on the physical aspect of this game as White gets ready to kick it here, because it's a championship game. You're either going to get distracted and lose focus on something else, or you're going to pick up some unnecessary cards and free kicks. And I didn't expect the Jumbos to want to play that physical side. I thought they would want to play their style of game. They're seeming to try and send a message to Amherst that we'll play physical too, but you hope that doesn't actually play into the Mammoth's hands to some extent. Ooh. Awkward bounce still works out in the favor of Tufts. And they're going to call a foul here. Kyle Kelly going down hard on his hip, and I realize that may hurt, but he also ended up there. It seemed like he made more of that contact than it seemed. Nope, he made exactly how much that contact was. I take that back as the hands went up immediately from, was that Braun or Raphael?
It was Braun.
Yeah. Indicating not my fault.
He tried to hold up.
Well, unfortunately, a little too late. Trying to serve this one in again is Gittler. Look at that left. He'll go to the far side. No, that's not where Okorogheye wanted to serve it. He wanted to go back into the box. Now we're playing a game of 50-50 ball. Amherst still on the attack. Okorogheye got it on the far side and loses control. The dribble will be a goal kick.
Normally, I'm not a big fan of just dumping the balls downfield and seeing what happens, but because of the difficulty of trying to solve this Tufts defense, I think it might be a plan to try different elements and see if anything opens up in this game. Play it wide and in, play deep balls, see if there's a deflection. Try to throw ball up the middle now and then mix it up and try to keep this Tufts defense a little bit off balance, because one thing that we've learned about them, they're maybe not as airtight defensively as they have been in the past, but they're a confident group coming back, and they've trailed in games 3 or 4 times this year, and just they don't get phased.
Zach Siegelstein into the game for the Jumbos, the 5'11" sophomore out of New York City.
Head
He
coach
replaces Brett Rojas.
Head coach Josh Shapiro noted how his team is more dangerous in the second half of games this year because of the fact that they're not phased and they're just such a confident group.
Well, we didn't see Amherst launching balls on center from the 50 yesterday. We saw this flip throw, which we're about to see again from Bryce Johnson, but we didn't see them lining up free kicks from midfield and trying to serve them into the box.
He's about 50 yards out right now.
And he's going to put it to the top of the 18. Jumbos.
Back heel, nobody home though.
He had a good idea to try and, he thought Gittler was on a overlap, and Gittler wasn't there yet. Of course, he's the defender. That's not necessarily, I think, the first thought a defender has in the offensive third, because someone's got to go back you up. They're going to use White here. That's a hard pass to White. He's going to have to settle it down from Felix Wu.
Something we should mention, by the way, is the weather. It was actually really nice during the Messiah William Smith game. Temperature in the low 50s.
Yeah.
But it has cooled down and cooled down
rapidly.
Yeah, it's clear, but it's 39 degrees right now.
Opportunity in front. Shot. Goal off the post. Tufts has scored first on an unsettled situation in the box. Staying with it, the Jumbos, and they've got the 1-0 lead.
Usually the post is the goalkeeper's friend, but not that time, as that carom passed the diving White and into the goal. Watch right here. Ball gets squeaks through the defense. Left-footed shot off the post and in. Nothing you could do if you're Bernie White here. Not too often that Johnson gets beat. If there's anybody on the back line who may have had some difficulty this year, it's been Johnson, but he's been so beneficial with his throws that you're able to overlook some of the times where maybe he's missed an assignment. That time, just unlucky.
Gavin Tasker picks up his 5th goal of the season and 2nd goal of the weekend. He also scored against Amherst in their matchup earlier this season. Was the Jumbo's only goal of the game. I will add, that was scored in the 16th minute. Jumbos went up in that game 1-0 as well before Amherst came back to win it 2-1. Tasker scored in that occasion, as we mentioned. He now has 18 points on the season, and he also, that play there, not only did he get past Gittler, who fell, but the ball pops out, and Wu seemed to go back on his heels because he wasn't sure where the ball was initially and was late to step up and stop Tasker, and it all unraveled from there.
Well, Tasker's a second-team All-American, and players of that ability have the ability to disrupt great defenses, and that's what he did there. You know, it's just that constant pressure. Johnson did everything he could there to try to keep it in front of him. The ball just trickled through. Once he got beat, Tasker just too much experience. One touch left foot shot. But speaking of experience, look who's got the ball.
Yeah, he overdid it that time, unfortunately. Maybe expected contact. By the way, that's the Jumbo's 57th goal of the season. Point number, well, I've lost track of the points. I think we're above, closing in on 170, I believe. Got beat again, going down the far side. Johnson this time couldn't hold on to it, and it goes out of bounds off the deflection. We'll get a substitution here from the Jumbos as Derek Engie will check into the game, the 5'10 junior out of Cardiff, California. Amherst not known as a team who, I mean, we didn't see much subs in the first half yesterday. By the way, he replaces Van Brewer. So I'm not expecting a sub here from Amherst, to be blunt.
Well, you noted how in that first game of the year, the 16th minute, Tasker able to score. Where does Giamatti come into the mix now? How can they get him more involved?
Took him maybe 10 minutes, maybe 15 in that first matchup before he scored. Off the top of my head, no, it took him 7.
23rd minute, he was able to counter, and then obviously the winner just seconds into OT.
We'll see how long it takes for Giamatti. As coming out of that play, by the way, holding his shoulder was Oro as he collided with Canary. I guess didn't see Canary come into the game. Sophomore, 6'4". Out of Chevy Chase, Maryland. That is a sub for Amherst. And Oro wanting the Amherst players to back off. Soft serve trying to hit Braun, and is cut off on the way there, and then two Jumbos run into each other. Braun didn't realize that running onto that was...
Tried to give and go there between
Lane. Oh, Lane, I think, was just running onto the ball, and Braun ran into him.
Well, Canary and Giamatti try to give and go there. They're going to be all over Giamatti. Right now, he's
left
surprisingly left all alone on the left side. But
Jumbos like to slide a little bit more.
Yeah, you could see the right back keeping an eye, sliding over.
If the ball's on the far side, they're not going to stick on Giamatti. Nice deep possession there by Oro.
But you could watch how the defenders talking to each other. Communication there was immediate.
The overlap coming up to Lane, back to Oro, but it's a little off. And Oro's hurt. I don't think that was a foul. Thought that was a 50-50 ball, but they're going to call it on Canary nonetheless. Maybe I'll have my mind changed here on the replay.
You're going to take a look here, the 50-50 ball.
Maybe he's a step late.
I think it looked like it was knee. It was knee to inner knee, and that's where he got caught.
Rowe looks like he wants more than just the foul call. I think that's just a hard foul. I think it was a half step late on getting to the ball, and changed my mind. It's a hard foul.
39-degree night. It's going to hurt.
At least it's quick ice. Shot from deep, not even close. Looked better off the foot than it did once it got into the box. as the Jumbos will continue to go to the bench here. Coming in number 12, Matty Cano, a 6-foot junior out of Washington, D.C., and I believe I saw his number 15, Alex Ratson, the 5'9" junior out of Brussels, Belgium, and a transfer from Princeton in his career.
And he was one of 4 players who scored last night.
He's one of 2 players with 7 goals, along with Lane. They came in on a 3-way tie at 6 goals with Joe Braun. Braun is still at 6, while Lane and Ratson are at 7. You talk about balanced scoring threat. The Jumbos are it. They have nobody in double figures.
Similar to William Smith.
Yes. We get a stoppage here for whatever reason. Something's wrong with a player. I think he might have a...
Might be blood?
Yeah, I think he's got blood, does Gittler. Yeah, they're treating it as such, so they're going to sub him out. And into the game will come Andrew Barcadia. He is the 6'1" sophomore out of River Forest, Illinois, and Gittler will be done for this half.
Well, it's an injury sub, so he could return.
Oh, fair. Good point. I forgot about it. It changes that service, by the way. That's not that bomb from Gittler. Instead, it's more of a chip shot. And then the second service goes all the way in.
Ended up being a bloody nose, which is what affected Gittler.
That could take some time to stop.
Watch enough MMA fighting. UFC.
Sometimes that'll persist. Share, some of them from contact. Not fun. 14.5 minutes left to go here in the first half.
That will be Amherst ball.
Yes,
Good
it
call.
will. And we'll get a couple more subs here. Amherst going to the bench a little more than I expected. Number 21, Ignacio Cubedu, the Davie, Florida freshman coming in, and Max Jacobs, the 6'1" junior out of Cherry Hill, New Jersey, into the game for the Jumbos.
It's always better when guys from Jersey are on the field.
It's a subject to opinion, I believe. I kid.
It's the correct opinion.
There's the long flip throw that can change field position easily. And miss kicking that is Barcadia. Barcadia, certainly a stout defender.
Watch the transition here from Giamatti.
Giamatti with 2 on him, though. Good defense.
Got 3
now he's
guys
solo.
on him.
No, now it's another one coming in to help. Well, now we got arms flying. No call. Trying to beat the defense there was Jacobs, and he's going to get a... Oh, they're going to call back on the original foul.
And that was on Cubedu, number 21, for the initial contact.
Swinging the arms, as we were mentioning. They just basically tried to give the advantage, and it didn't take. As you take a look there at Shamrangia, the Virginian native.
Did you see the...
Picked up his first point yesterday, by the way.
Did you see the acceleration, though, from Giamatti? And going against 3 different players, and once he realized, all right, this is even too much for me.
Gittler's back in. Now he'll replace, interesting enough,
Shamirzadeh.
I know, I botched it. I was looking at 6 other things. More interesting that Gittler didn't replace the guy he came in for. I thought he had to replace the player he came in for. We have another Jumbo player now who got banged up and looks like Trevorrow into the game. He replaces Ratson. Ratson just came in, so he's out, and he's out for the half. But he looked like he got banged up, and so we've already gotten our fair share of nicks and cuts. Great job by Johnson there, because if he doesn't get to that, streaking in behind him was that, I think it was Jacobs on the run, and he's scot-free. No, Jacobs is in the middle.
No, if he doesn't get there, that's a certain goal. I think it may have been, I want to say it was Cano over there.
Yeah, you might be right.
By the way,
to see
Cano, by the way, normally number 11 in white. He does not have his normal number, so he has to wear 12 in blue. It's MIA. The jersey, not Cano.
Something about coming to a championship weekend and not having your jersey. That's a bad sign. Nice pass. I thought it was a nice pass from
Word on the street's been
Giamatti.
missing for most of the season.
No, I know. I do realize it's been missing. Giamatti tried to hit Barcagia and threw it a little too far ahead of him. So it'll be a throw in front of Coach Shapiro. Coach Shapiro, Middlebury grad in '97, has certainly had 10 tremendous years at Tufts. Not only 3 national championships, but 125 wins now. Wow. I hope that water bottle that was in between, no, it's not going to be in his way. That's impressive. You have to deal with all those distractions and still throw it all the way into the box. And Coach Shapiro getting an early or a close-up look at that one.
I mean, it is fascinating. I don't even understand how you would teach that.
It's one of those where
how do you discover that you're good at that?
As I've seen it over the years, it's kids see it, they start experimenting, see if they can do it, and quickly realize they can't, and then somebody realizes they can, and then they start honing their skill on it. I've never seen it that good. Oh, opportunity here. Nope, defense breaks it up. Giamatti wanted a foul there. It may have looked awkward, but I think it was a good effort by Jacobs.
These teams playing so hard, so much fight, every ball, nobody giving up, nobody ball watching. Just the pressure, the constant pressure is just so much fun to watch right now. This is a treat.
Coleman loses it. Gittler.
See, look at this constant pressure from Tufts. Coming back, Jacobs getting involved.
Everybody's involved in the defense on Tufts' side. They are, to quote something I read, they're ball hawks. They are looking for the ball. Back heel. Oh, good idea. Cannot get a foot on the second shot there by Lind. Less than 10 to play.
Lynn had to take that one because Giamatti was being covered by 3 different guys at the top of the 18. There you see Giamatti. He's not an option. Lynn, back heel. He was looking for Giamatti. Wasn't there, and then a soft second chance.
About 9:15 left to go here in the first half. 1-0 the lead for the Jumbos.
And this is going to be a much closer.
This is like a corner kick.
Flip opportunity.
Tufts immediately retreats to the middle of the box. They know what's coming.
If I'm Johnson, I'm aiming for about the 8-yard mark. Try to get one of your bigger bodies on this one.
I'd love to see him aim for the back post with the guy streaking in. I'm wondering if that's what they do here. Yeah, it brings the goalie into play, but back post is always the most difficult spot. He's playing short, too. He's on the near post.
I think he heard you. But
he goes back 6. Lynn's going to try and flick it over the top. It's up in the middle of 6. Kinderman pushed, and they're going to go foul the other way. Kinderman got away with one there. Goalies usually do, but whew. I'd have to see it again, but I'm pretty sure Kinderman's the one who had the shove here. There's the kick, Ira. I'm not sure how that's an Amherst foul.
I think that's a 50-50 play at best.
I would have maybe considered giving Kinderman a word, though it's an indirect kick from the 6. So you don't want to see that either.
And the throw, by the way, was kind of a mixture of both what you and I were thinking.
Yeah.
I was thinking somewhere around 6 to 8 yards, and you were thinking back post, and it was back post 8 yards out. Just couldn't get clean contact on it.
7:45 left to go here in the first half. He's Ira Thor. I'm Dave McHugh. Bring it to you on NCAA.com. This is Game 6 of the weekend. Second championship game of the day for men's and women's Division III soccer. That one easily cleared by Barcagia. As they go into the corner, Barcagia will come over and try and help out the clear. And kicking it back for Tufts is Arrow. Back to Arrow. He's going to try and get on the nice corner run there by Siegelstein.
Ooh.
He's held onto it. Do the Jumbos. Back side flicked out by the defense, and they're going to call a foul
and
anyway.
That's a good call. It was a push from behind coming around. He was trying to create space for himself coming towards the 6 from the left flank, and that's where you saw that contact happen. Take a look. Great cross here by Jacobs, and then right there, push from behind.
Yeah, you can see it.
That was easy for the official.
Extended.
Yeah, Brian Miller was right on top of that one, the lead official. The referee, I'm sorry.
6:35 remaining here.
Got my NFL brain on.
A little too much body on the head there. You can go up for a 50-50 and collide, but you can't be kind of leading with the shoulder on a head ball. Dane Lynn's always going to argue that it should be more than just a foul, but I think this is just a good aggressive. Yeah, his shoulder, his elbow's not up. Yeah, it's a hard foul.
It's a hard foul. It's not a dirty play at all.
If his elbow's up, it's a card. His elbow wasn't up.
You had to keep your arm somewhere. He had his arm in front of his body.
So Gittler will serve this one. We've already seen him go inside the box often as he's clearing space for the ball to rest easy.
And they're going to stop the clock, I think.
Nope, he's whistling it in. Probably telling them to hurry up. This one's got 6 written all over. It's all the way in.
Wow.
Again, a little too deep, I think. You don't want to get either that or you got to get more Amherst players on top of the goalie.
You know, it's interesting out there because, you know, from this distance, Kinderman seems kind of small. But he's 6 feet because there's so much size coming at him.
Yes.
That he seems small because of the.
You got Lind at 6'2", Johnson 6'1".
Oh yeah, the length of all the attacking players. So he's going up there against some trees trying to retrieve that ball.
Okorege is 6'1". Gittler is a service one, but he's 6'3". Even Giamatti's 6 foot. 5 minutes or so left to go here. Picking it up and moving it ahead. It's Okorege. He's going to try and slice and dice his way through. He actually leaves it for Giamatti, but he left it behind him instead of feeding him into the corner.
Actually found out that that's actually the shortened version of,
I don't want to know
Ada's name.
No, we don't need to know the long version.
Well, I don't know the full version, but apparently he's got seven or 8 names. He's got
he's got some.
This is the shorter
traditional
version.
African background, and sure, those are definitely longer names. I have a cousin who has visited Africa and married someone from Africa. It's a long name. Rip from deep, but that's easily read by Kinderman. The Rockville, Maryland native is having to come up big here, a little bit more busy than Bernie White, despite the fact White is the one who has gotten one past him. A little over 4 minutes to go in the first half. Battle for that big boot from Kinderman. Oh, great defense stepping up. That's going to be a handball.
Easy one right there.
Just after I was about to compliment, you can earn a card doing that, and he will. Raphael's going to get a card. Oh, maybe just a talking to? I'm not sure why he did it. He's giving him a long leash here. Raphael definitely handled it with his hand, and I was just about to compliment him because he stepped in front of Giamatti, who was waiting for the ball. Oh, nice little deke out there. They're not going for the normal service. Now they'll serve it in. Cut off. But plenty of time. Served it back in again. Giamatti got away with a push. Got it on his foot. Defense crashes and keeps him from getting the shot off.
Did you see that? As soon as Giamatti leapt for the ball, 3 players all converged around him like a pack of hyenas.
One of them was going the wrong direction thanks to a friendly push. He just wanted to show him where he wanted him to stand. Speaking of pushes.
But that was like the perfect example of this Tufts defense and how they just do not give up space for anything.
Look at Daly. Daly and Giamatti are battling. Giamatti is trying to get body to body with Daly, and Daly's trying to shove him. Giamatti, right foot. No, too high.
Oh, that's one way.
Okay, if we see it, we might see Giamatti get away with the shove first.
Look, one.
There it is.
And then he's there. 1, 2, 3 players right around him.
Yep. Great collapse in defense. That's the same one over again.
Look, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, coming down to help.
Absolutely brilliant defense by the Jumbos. The second opportunity, which is what I was about to talk about, the only way he's able to get shots off right now is if he's able to do it with his back to the goal.
Yeah.
That's the only space he has to work with.
2:30 left to go in the half.
I mean, they're able right now to contain potentially the best player in the entire country.
1-0 the lead for the Jumbos here. If they got the score from this, about the 24th minute. It was a brilliant goal by Gavin Tasker. Fighting through, and Kinderman's going to come out for that one. Tasker just fighting through the defense, staying with the ball that eventually popped free. And he had a moment and poked it in the back corner off the post.
He's had a brilliant goal. I mean, this whole game itself, just watching how everything's developing, has just been a joy. Both these teams, are they the top teams in the country? Yeah, they're here.
Men's soccer is definitely a little bit
the
deeper
rankings.
at the top.
I was about to say that with women's soccer, I think it was pretty clear.
Oh, opportunity breaking in on the backside, and Kinderman snuffs it out.
Yeah.
If he is a step later on that, it's a free chance for Giamatti.
Yeah, you can see this here. Great job by Kinderman, recognizing that this long ball was going to skip through, split two defenders, and before anybody could run onto it, oh my, that would have been an easy tap in had Giamatti got there.
One step later, or a half a second decision, as Amherst is going to threaten again. Opportunity getting over to Giamatti. He's got it on his foot. Shot, save, Kinderman.
Now Giamatti, he's getting some opportunities all of a sudden, 2 in a row. I think this one may have been high, even had the save not been there, but you watch one touch.
No, that was aiming for corner.
That might have been top corner.
That was going for the top corner. Even from behind him, he shot that from behind. His first goal yesterday, he didn't even get a full foot on. This one a little long to the backside. It's up there, thanks to a Tufts head, but Kinderman off his line quickly.
Yeah, stand corrected. That was going right underneath the crossbar. Man, his ability right there on barely no time. It was one touch, and he was able to put one on target with a lot of pace.
20 seconds left to go in the half. These two teams battling it out. And so far, the defending champs have the 1-0 lead. 10 seconds remaining. Trying to go one more time if they can, or the Jumbos. That cross stifled. And so that will draw the half to a close. Both teams know each other well. That makes it sometimes tough to do much of anything. Well, we've seen a show from both sides. Tufts with the 1-0 lead, and Kinderman with a tremendous save kept it that way. But the Jumbos will stay up 1-0 at halftime. We'll see what they have for adjustments when we come back after highlights and stats. You're watching the Division III Men's Soccer Championships on NCAA.com. Welcome back to halftime of the Division III Men's Soccer Championship game from the UNCG Soccer Stadium in Greensboro, North Carolina. Amherst and the Jumbos of Tufts, and it's Tufts with a 1-0 lead. And yeah, even the fans revved up for this one as we take a look at first half highlights.
Is what it took for Tufts to get on the board. Gavin Tasker earning this one, slipping through the defense and then banking it off the post. Only goal of this game.
Not afraid to use both feet. The man for Amherst has had opportunities, but Ira, he's also been stymied.
Yeah, I'd say Tufts has shown why their defense is probably the most frustrating in Division III. You look at the face of Giamatti, that is a face of frustration right now. He's had his opportunities, he's earned his opportunities, but right now Tufts is getting the better of that matchup because they're not giving him any isolation.
Possession in favor of Tufts, shots in favor of Amherst. Fouls pretty even, though high. These two teams certainly aren't afraid to go at each other. About their averages, believe it or not, at halftime. Corners, Tufts has had an advantage there as well. We'll take another break. When we come back, we will, we'll see what the second half presents to us. It's the Division III Men's Soccer Championships. Tufts leads Amherst 1-0 at the break. Welcome back as we get ready for second half action between the two NESCAC rivals, Amherst and Tufts. It's the Jumbos with the 1-0 lead. Though they had the 1-0 lead in their game earlier this season, the difference was Amherst responded within 7 minutes. They're going to have to do a little bit more work and working into the second half if they want to get back into a tie ball game here. It looks like pretty much the same team we've seen out there for the game so far as we switch sides. Jumbo's now attacking from right to left, defending the right-hand side in their blue uniforms with white stripes and brown numbers and trim. And Amherst now in their whites, and opportunity early. Giamatti couldn't run onto it. Well, he ran into a defender. He looks at the AR on the near side and throws his hands up like, I couldn't help myself.
Now, there you see Jamison, who's had the unenviable task of trying to keep a track on Giamatti when he makes these runs in the middle. Had to put the screen on there to give his goalkeeper, Eric Kinderman, I should say Kinderman. Kinderman, enough time to come out and make that grab.
He's our Thor. I'm Dave McHugh, bringing you this Division III championship. My fourth men's soccer championship in a row. Ira did the semis. Our third women's in a row earlier today.
We've done,
I think it's third. Yeah, third.
We've done 4 tournaments together, but I actually could not do the final the first year we were together because I had a home basketball doubleheader.
No, that's the story I let you tell. The real reason was we just wanted you to go home. 43-50 left.
That was a crazy year. We were in Roanoke. I drove all the way from New Jersey to do 2 games with you and then drove all the way back.
You were insane.
So that was basically 24 hours of fun.
Jumbo's looking to threat here early on, sir. This one right at the 6. Braun went for it, but equal to the task was the Amherst defense. I believe. I'm not sure. I'm not actually sure who it was back there who went up with him. It might have been Kelly. I think it was Kyle Kelly. So the Mammoths are coming the other direction. They're in the home whites as they were last night with the purple sash-like ribbon. Good idea there. Giamatti at least appreciated it from Local Reggae.
Well, Kelly and Wu are the two playing deep right now for Amherst, looks like they're trying to push one player forward defensively at times here.
They are definitely trying to bring up one of the wing backs. Coming around the defense there, it is Stern. That's going to sneak out of bounds for a corner kick.
Well, Kelly did a good job of coming over and not fouling Stern.
Kelly there, the Scotch Plains, New Jersey native, started every game and played in every game this season. He even has an assist on the year. Jumbo's apparently already looking to waste time. And that will stop the clock. I kid you not. We are 2.5 minutes into this second half, and the Jumbos look like they're already stalling.
Well, Brian Miller, the referee, he's aware of these games that people play on the field, and that's why he stopped the clock.
In swinger, it's bouncing in front. Both sides want a foul. It's still in the box. Now they want a handball, and they're going to call a foul from the original spot. A lot of waiting for continuation as Kelly has a conversation with our lead official. Let's see this one again on the in-swinger from Rojas.
Right there.
Oh, there's a hold.
There's definitely a hold, absolutely.
There's a high kick. So you got a hold, a tackle, a high kick. That's not a handball. That might be inadvertent. Well, got a lot going on in the box there.
The hold in the box, that right there is PK territory.
Yeah, I think that should have been called. And maybe you didn't see it. Might have been looking for something else, but that was as blatant as I've seen in a long time. As they're going to force the kick there out of White. Remember, White playing after yesterday, taking an inadvertent foot to the face as he went diving out on a ball on a cross.
He actually dove onto a foot as he was coming down for the ball.
And the ball. He literally dove onto both.
And it wasn't somebody kicking him. He actually brought the contact to himself because he's so aggressive.
Wrapped up the foot himself.
It's just a product of how he plays the game.
Yep, absolutely. Check it out from the other angle on this hold. Oh, that's not even close.
They got away with that one.
Yeah, that's Felix Wu who had the he's doing it again. Look, he's got his left arm around him on the inside there. He's all over Braun. Not seen by the AR or the lead official. And sometimes that stuff's missed. And when you have two teams also, Ira, who are that physical with one another, sometimes you probably dismiss what you think is simple contact, and it turns out it was bigger than you thought it was. Shot from deep, easily read by White on the effort by Rojas.
Well, Stern, who took that corner kick.
Maybe it was Lane who took that shot.
Well, Stern, who took the corner kick, we touched on it yesterday in the semifinal, but he's got one of the great stories you're going to hear in D3. He wasn't recruited. He was a walk-on. He played for the team's, the school's club team, and an excellent club team, by the way. Tufts club team, the B team, played in nationals.
Kinderman with the boot there, by the way.
But the club and varsity guys are all very close. And a couple years ago, the club team came up to the head coach, Josh Shapiro, and said, hey, we got a guy we think can help you. And Shapiro came aboard, and he's blossomed into a great two-way left back, box to box.
Zach Lane just took the worst of a clearance attempt. Teammate tried to clear it, and it might have been Rojas, and it hit Lane square in the face. And he almost had this reaction like, really? Couldn't clear me? Here's the long flip toss into the box. Well played by Braun. Ripped from deep. And Gittler got just under that, though, honestly, from 25 yards out on a bouncing ball. It's going to be hard to keep that one down, especially when you take it to your side, as Gittler did there. For Gittler, his 25th or so shot on the season. You can hear the crowds vocal in this game as we're 6 minutes into the half. It's still 1-0 Jumbos, who are looking to repeat as champs for the very first time. Have missed the other opportunities, but have won in 14, 16, and 18. Amherst just trying to get a second title. Good job by Okorogeye on the, and then the ball will go out of bounds.
Long time to go out of bounds.
Yeah, it did. Had a little bit of English on it, Iron. I think it kept it in bounds there for a little while. But we will get, once again, the long toss here by Johnson.
Drying the ball off.
Watch how much his body kind of torques and snaps off the. His abs have got to be super strong, because that is well cleared by Tufts.
Did you see how well he times that, though, where his feet are basically coming down as close to the touch line as you could without going over?
Yeah, and then he's also got that spring effect going. Again, you got to have both feet down for those types of things, and that sometimes is the biggest problem. Long shot distance again by Gittler, and this time he missed it by
quite a distance.
Yeah, I was starting to try and do math there, decided to give up on it. He had more of a chance of hitting the American flag. He's going to want that back. That one right off the side of his foot. Not that I haven't done that 100 times in my life. Always looks great until it makes contact, and then you realize you completely missed it. Good fight here. Giamatti's going to run into the corner, but he gets a little way of the shove. Coming back with a shove.
Giamatti wants a foul there. Not going to get called.
No, that's a pull. That's going to go against Amherst.
Yep.
That one is a shove back by Kubedu. Listen, Giamatti might argue for it, but here's my thinking if I'm the lead official. I'd let you get away with one. I'm going to let him get one back. I don't think it's necessarily the right thing you do, but that's probably his comment to him. These two teams know each other way too well as you get a close-up look there at one of the co-captains, Tanner Jamison, for this Jumbos unit.
Looked like Giamatti got clipped with that ball.
That's interesting. So they'll throw it in with the Mammoths. Whoops, slipped out of his hand, but it'll still get to Giamatti. Oh, that's going to be a foul. Now that is a foul. Giamatti raises his hand. Now I want to ask him if he heard the whistle like the rest. He may not have, as he was hitting the deck. This is a tough game. I'll admit I expected more physicality out of it, and it hasn't broken into that direction. Kinderman coming out, punches, rolls right through the back of his own teammate. He is 18 yards out of the box, and his defense steps up big time for him.
Big opportunity there for Okorogeye, and the Tufts were able to step in front of that ball before he could get a shot off. He settled it, but couldn't strike.
Watch out. Jumbos on a breakout here with a chance. Cross coming now. It stayed on the ground and low, and that can give the Mammoths a chance to clear, but it's not a good enough clear. Jumbos maintain possession. Midfield is just getting into the fray. Kelly's going to clear that one out, but the Jumbos still have it. A row with a rip, and it's a little too high. Watch, he comes out. He's going to roll right over the top.
Almost knocks the head off of one of his defenders. And then a great opportunity here with Kinderman down. The Tufts defense able to step in front of that shot. Couldn't see it a little bit off camera there by Okorogeye, but great opportunity.
Hey, you love your teammates, but sometimes you got to roll over them to get to the ball. But also that's where not even communicating that's going to help, because it's not like he can get out of your way.
I mean, there's also
look at the defense on Giamatti. Every time he touches it, he's got somebody in his hip pocket.
I was going to say that once your defender commits to that ball, it doesn't matter if you yell mine or not. You're going for the ball, but if your defender already commits, he's going to be in your path.
Yeah, he's done. He's got nowhere to go. That one goes out of bounds for a corner kick off the foot of Marcagia. You may have heard on the public address, Brett Rojas will take this kick. Rojas had a great delivery earlier in this game. He had some good deliveries yesterday. This one going for the back six and headed out, but not out of trouble yet. And he'll go out of bounds for a long throw.
Still plenty of soccer here to play, but Amherst's identity this year, they are trying to be the most pressing team in college soccer. They're going to need to find a way to keep that press tight here on Tufts. Try to force a mistake.
Ian Daly with his version of a long throw in. Gets it pretty far in there. We're going to call a pushing call. An elbow up. It's going to be a card. It's a card on Braun for throwing the elbow. He's clearly arguing about it. And the officials finally had enough. He allowed as much contact, but that time it was a little too much.
This has been brewing for the last few corners. Brian Miller finally saying enough is enough and pulling out the yellow card. These players are trying to get position in the box, but they're doing so. Look, he actually used the cast as a weapon
and
there.
Then he's getting hugged.
Oh, God.
Oh, how did...
That's a red.
I'm surprised he didn't get a red. They are, as our crew reminds us, they can review that. Now, listen, Wu has done that to Braun multiple times in this game where he has absolutely just bear hugged him.
I understand, but that's
so I get the frustration
to the head. That's a red card.
You cannot swing the elbow like that. That's a you just cannot do that in any sport.
There's no place for that in college sports.
Braun frustrated, I get it, but at least he didn't hit him with the cast. It was the elbow, but still.
I'll take a look at it. He got him with the cast.
He also got away with a shove right before it, too. So, Giamatti's the one who's getting blanketed coverage by the Tufts defense. Braun's getting that same coverage, just not able to keep the cooler head into the box here on the break.
Not enough pace on that.
Yeah, that good idea. Ripped from way too deep there for Coleman. Again, Braun picking up his fourth yellow card. He now has the team lead in that category. He and Max Jacobs had both come in with 3.
Got to be smarter, though. Your team is up 1-0 in a national championship game. You can't afford to potentially pick up what could have been a red card there and have to play a man down for the final 30-something minutes. That's just a risk you cannot take.
Amherst threatening, they tried to go over the top there. Good idea, but chested down. Chested down by, was that Max Jacobs? No, I don't have the right guy there. Hard to see I honestly hard to see the Jumbo's numbers. Should know the defense, I realize, but they've also been switching around.
The ones in the front are not the easiest to read.
They're trying to cover Giamatti in a non-traditional way. I think it was chested down by Jamison. While they got multiple captains, he's not I don't think he's the one wearing the armband tonight. Let's check this one out again. So the right arm is his casted arm. He's going to shove, a couple times he's going to shove Gittler. Gittler with a friendly elbow, let's call it. Now, I think, yes, the cast gets there, but that's not the initial contact. I think the initial contact is still the elbow.
You swung your arm.
Yeah, no, right. It's irrelevant. He still swung it. We'll keep a close eye on this. Now he's got to be careful with just the fact he's on a yellow. You don't want to be in the national championship, put your team down to a man, especially when you've got the lead. You are right. It is reviewable, the crew reminding us. There's a few things, and we've always had review available for a few years now. Ooh, good play there by Ian Daly, or that's a one-on-one opportunity on the backside. Review has been available for a few things. One of them is review of that kind of play. Obviously, going over the goal line is another reviewable option from the best way we can from our camera angles.
We have
sometimes
every camera angle available, it seems like.
Official feels like he's comfortable with the call. Nice through ball there. Braun's going to get a little shove and match there that time with Felix Wu yet again.
Kinderman thought about coming out on the first sending of the through ball, held back and allowed that ball to go out of play.
Jumbos will bring in Derek Engie, the 5'10 junior from Cardiff, California, the defensive midfielder. And they will replace a row. Again, you can be on the field twice here. There you see a close-up of Gittler. Of course, he's already had a bloody nose today. Didn't know why. Maybe if we speculate now, knowing what's been going on the defensive end a little bit better, maybe he and Braun have already had this exchange. Braun and Wu have certainly had it. We've already seen Wu basically holding Braun with a full hug several times. Nice through ball. He's not offsides. He's on. The back center defender kept him on. Left foot still in there. Opportunity again for Kobediu. Nice turn in the middle. Ooh. I can't believe Okorege didn't make an effort on that one. He stood there and watched.
Oh, I think they were trying to dummy the play to Giamatti.
Yeah, but I think you got to take that. Giamatti's too covered. Up ahead, all of a sudden, Mammoth with opportunity. Looking for the cross. Here it is. Headed out for a corner.
Great play by
Amherst
Jameson.
Going ballistic.
Well, Jameson coming over to defend that. He was basically parallel to the end line. Otherwise, that ball's right in front. Who knows what happens?
And, of course, Amherst doing the same thing Tufts is, and that is bringing all their tallest players into the box, including Kyle Kelly and Gabe Gittler at 6'2" and 6'3", respectively. Gittler, though, will take the kick. Of course, he's got a good foot as a junior. In the center, by the way, keep an eye on, I'm not sure who that is. Oh, it's defending. That one's way too far. Backside headed down, though. Not into a trouble spot.
Giamatti, ball at his feet. Can he turn?
Nope. Shutting it down with Zach Lane. I saw earlier. I saw Felix Wu was the one I saw earlier battling on the line along with Sebastian Derby. Derby's back on that line because this is like a corner kick.
Watch how he drives the ball in his jersey so he can get a good grip as he comes down so he doesn't drop it.
That's a line drive this time, and it's going to be easily cleared by the Jumbos. Gittler back. Great ball. Inside, another head out. Keeping it in the box is Amherst. Keeping the pressure on. They'll feed it to the top. Berkagia to the near side.
Great job switching fields, sending the ball back in.
Oh, great defense effort. Chance. Woo. Tipped over. Kinderman gets a hand on it, I believe, off the rocket from Derby. And suddenly Amherst with a ton of pressure here.
Look at this ball coming through. Deflection right to Derby. Settles. Shot. Oh, what a tip.
Wow. And Kinderman ends up on his knees. Thankful to have gotten a hand on that. Here comes an in-swinger. It's short. Headed out. Coleman will track it down, trying to keep the pressure on. He'll launch it back to the far box. And on the near side, that is.
Nobody home that time.
A little too far for Okorege to get to.
Well, we talked about that pressure for Amherst that they have basically claimed as their new identity on the field. For years, they've been considered one of these teams that's big, great in the air, good on set pieces. Their identity this year is they will swarm you like hornets, and they will not give you anywhere to breathe. That's where they've been successful. For them, against a Tufts team that plays that way defensively themselves all the time, you have to force Tufts into a mistake. That was nearly a mistake there.
Nice footwork.
Ball chested out onto the foot of another player.
So Jumbo's now looking to maintain possession.
Hey, regardless of the outcome.
Joe Braun, by the way, is on the sideline.
everybody's being treated here to a true gem of a championship game.
Jumbo's looking to try and add on to a 1-0 lead. He's Ira Thorham, Dave McHugh. 26-15 left in this, and White tried to save that from being a corner. Not there in time, so the Jumbos get a corner kick opportunity here. Both teams coming in, averaging about 6 or 7 corner kicks per contest offensively. Siggelstein will take this one. Siggelstein with 3 assists on the season. This one should be an outswinger, but it's in the dangerous part of the box. White punches it out. Thrown back in, though, by Raphael.
Not out enough.
I'm sorry, that was Jamison. No, it's still in trouble. Coleman with a head. I was right, it was Raphael.
Don't doubt yourself.
Well, those numbers make me doubt things. We will get a stoppage here. Matty Cano was coming out, and he'd forgotten to take his sub jersey off. He will come in replacing Gavin Tasker. Also coming out is Zach Lane.
Alex Ratson,
yeah, coming in. As White will put a foot into this one. Up to midfield on the 54-yard kick. Well, under 25 minutes until this championship may be decided. Jumbos have been leading now for about 30 minutes of action. 1-0. But Amherst is starting to threaten, starting to put it together. A lot of pushing and shoving, as you saw there.
Great work along the touchline here by
Okoregeye.
Easier for you than me.
He got beat, though, on a triple team. No one came to help him, though he had beaten everybody downfield. I don't know if he was looking for a foul or he's just exhausted over there, but the freshman forward out of London has been working hard today. A little bit more of a factor than he was yesterday. Now we're just kind of into a kick back and forth game between these two teams. Jumbo's trying to hold on to possession. Missed pass there.
You mentioned, by the way, how he's a freshman. Well, you look at this Amherst roster as a whole, just so much youth. They're only losing a few seniors, and you look at who was in the starting lineup. You know, Coleman's a senior. Other than Coleman, really the only other senior is Dane Lind that is a significant contributor. They are absolutely going to be in the mix for the next couple years.
Especially because of that guy there, that the double team comes over and takes the ball away from Giamatti. You know, Tufts is doing a good job, by the way, defensively on Giamatti. They really are.
Tufts on the other end, you know, obviously they do a great job of continuing to recruit, but they are senior heavy. You look at their lineup: Tasker and Braun and Lane, Rojas, and down the line, the other seniors that are getting plenty of time include Jamison and Stern. They have a lot of players to replace next year.
Another long throw here coming in. Right in front of the Amherst bench. That one launched into the 6. That one had time for everybody to eye up. We're going to get another corner kick here. Will they play it quick? I thought initially they might do that, but Gittler will come over and take it. And almost everybody goes to the far corner of the box for a run-in. The only one they're leaving inside right now looks like Derby on the line, though. Lind is right around the penalty line right now.
Well, they have the short option over here.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Or do you go far post?
Is Kabedu. Inside, and staying home is Kinderman, who ends up saving a head right on Cage.
Kinderman read that so well on a header that was destined for the far post. Watch this again. Over the top and right there.
Sometimes you don't want to come out to your 6-yard box.
Think about how tough of a header that was for Kyle Kelly, falling away from the action.
Usually a goalie told, you own the 18, but you especially own the 6. And anything inside the 6 you should be playing, but sometimes you need to understand when to stay home. Trying to put on a show here is Cano, and
ball's still alive here.
Yeah, it was.
Be end up being a goal kick.
Cano doesn't like the call. The official says, thank you. I appreciate your point of view on that, but
Kelly is.
I was right here too.
Kelly is out of Scotch Plains, New Jersey. And for those who don't know New Jersey soccer, there are certain communities that are perpetually very strong in the sport. In Bergen County, you have schools like Ramapo, which has been great at soccer for 30 years. But Scotch Plains Fanwood has been a Group 3 dynasty in the state of New Jersey. So Kelly coming out of a tremendous area for the sport. 6'2" center back, being able to come up and get involved on corners is a great weapon for Amherst.
Max Jacobs didn't like the fact that a foul got called there, by the way, and White comes up to take this kick, which allows the Mammoths to send numbers forward. White's almost like, guys, you going to get up there? Now he'll put a boot into this one. This one's going to get all the way into the box. On the short side, though, that's not where everybody was positioned.
Stern got a piece of that.
Into the box now. Rowe puts a foot into it. Putting a head on it is Wu. A battle for it in the corner.
Tremendous defense by Sigelstein.
I don't know why Kubedu was looking for a foul there. That's a foul on him. Kubedu grabbed him. I don't know why. Sometimes I'm more perplexed by guys acting like they don't understand what they did.
Especially at a game of this magnitude where you're going to have your top referees available.
Right.
They're not going to miss stuff like that. Not if it's plainly obvious right in front of them.
We've seen a couple.
Well,
I agree with you.
The arm swing was tough to see from the angle that the referee was standing. But a grab like that is obvious.
He called the arm swing. He absolutely called the arm swing. He just didn't feel it was as grotesque as.
Well, he didn't have the angle that we had.
But he didn't. He hasn't seen the bear hugs from Wu yet.
True.
Though I wonder if Braun is in that effort to get the card. May have at least sent the message that you got to watch out for the hugs.
I hate to harp on one play. It's just been a physical game overall.
Oh, he had an idea. He and Lynn Kubedu not on the same page there. Kubedu launched one down for Lynn, but it was more towards the goal, and Lynn was more towards the sideline. Less than 19 minutes left to go in the Division III men's soccer championship, and if Amherst wants to win a second, they need to convert on a few opportunities. Amherst trying to join the likes of women's and men's basketball and women's ice hockey, and we get a delayed whistle here as our official's going to have an extra conversation with Sigelstein. Sigelstein tried to walk away from it, and our official decided to bring him back. And that conversation's clearly, I'm the official, I'll decide what I will or will not do, and you will stop telling me. But again, Amherst has won 13 NCAA titles, 8 of them since 2010. Women's basketball with 3, men's basketball with 3, women's ice hockey with 2. The men's soccer team trying to join that group with 2 or more national titles, as Joe Kelly does a good job there of taking the pressure and getting the ball upfield as a defender. In the meantime, Tufts, by the way, there's 10 NCAA titles since 2010 at Tufts. Oh, just missed getting that to Dean Lynn. This one's in the corner for the Jumbos. Keeping it from going out of bounds is Max Jacobs. He and Kyle Kelly going at it. And we're going to get a handball or a dive. Jacobs doesn't like it.
Be one of two things there. He nudged him and he fell on the ball and got a handball. Or they could say that he did try to draw the foul by diving.
Back to the Jumbos. 10 national championships at the school since 2010. 3 of them in men's soccer, 3 of them in men's lacrosse, 3 of them in softball, and then field hockey with the other national championship.
Tufts softball program.
Men's soccer
has become a dynasty in the sport.
Basketball by accident? Men's soccer. Yeah, and Tufts, as much as they've won 3, there's been a few years, well, they got to the national championship against Stevenson and lost, but there's been a few years that just getting out of the New England is a national championship game, just like there's a few years just getting out of the South is a national championship game. Sometimes the national champion in men's lacrosse, the game. Opportunity in front, toe poke, and Tufts leads by 2. It's Max Jacobs who claims it's over. It's 17 minutes left. We'll see.
What a ball from the right flank. Look at this here again by Ratson. Eludes the defender and nothing you can do.
No.
Wow, Bernie White did everything he could there.
Just get big.
Set 1-2 off the chest, toe poke, boom.
White going with the upper arm thing. And if you go out wide with your arms, it goes under. There's 6-to-1 ways to do that. I don't think it stops no matter what. As Max Kelly picks up goal number 5 on the season. To go with the assist he had last night, he now has 16 points on the year. And again, 2-0 lead now for the Jumbos as he will be substituted out of the game. He was fighting for calls. We're saying there might have been a handball. Oh no, that's a handball. That's a handball.
That's stuff they got to be able to review.
Oh no.
It wasn't settled with the chest. It was settled with the left arm.
Oh boy.
And Tufts, for the second time, gets away with one inside the 6.
Well, he says it's over.
That's a great pickup by our crew, alerting us of the potential handball.
I'll be a little sarcastic. It's over. It should have been over before he scored it. Yeah, handball missed by our officiating crew, unfortunately, on that one.
They had done such a great
job. Take another
job.
look at it. I mean, it's still a 2-0 lead. It doesn't matter. Tufts still leads 2-0 here. They're not going to change the outcome. At this point, the review is too late. Under
Is
16.
there any way to get Giamatti involved here in the final 16 minutes? If you want to change the game, you can ignite him. He's proven he can score quickly and in bunches, but Tufts has been able to pretty much shut him down in this one. A few opportunities. I think he's got 5 shots in this game.
Yeah, no, they've done a tremendous job. Always a double team. This one going down the line for Lind. If he can get there to save it. Nope, cannot. Did on the first dribble, couldn't on the second. But anytime number 9 gets the ball, there's a defender already on him and a second one coming, and sometimes a third. 15 minutes left to go in this one, as the Amherst is going to start having to overcommit a little bit here if they want to win this. Again, they won the matchup in the regular season 2-1. No, that one didn't get called either, but that might have been more inadvertent. It didn't control the ball. Lane kicks it upfield. It's a foot chase, and kicking it back is Lane. Missed kick by White. Kicking upfield was Lane. Trying to figure out what Giamatti is talking about there. As you see Shapiro asking his middies to get back or get up in the attack, really. He doesn't want him hanging back, is what I should say. I think the same, we saw this with Messiah earlier. They got the 1-0 lead. They did not sit back on it, Ira. I think Coach Shapiro wants the same thing from his team. He doesn't want them hanging back as Amherst going to get some momentum, and a 2-goal lead, as I've said before, most dangerous lead in soccer because one goal changes everything. Changes momentum and everything.
14 minutes is a ton of time. Got to keep your foot on the gas if you're Tufts. This is not over yet.
And they are. They are still attacking here. Amherst defensively seems a little out of sorts. They cannot get this cleared.
Well, they're out of sorts because they've had to change their entire structure right now where they have to almost give up.
Opportunity in front. Just missed the post.
Wow.
As bodies go flying. Just missing goal number 2 was Tasker there. Nice sportsmanship from Barcagia as they'll reset the posts. Tasker. It's D3, everybody. Tasker even fixes the posts.
Going to see this through ball here from Lane all the way across the
That got on White. Oh, did that touch
No.
Barcagia? Yeah, it did because it's a corner. Well, it doesn't matter. It hit White.
It's what? Oh,
yeah, he did. He almost
poke.
own-goaled that. Ooh, Tasker hit that post hard.
Good eye there with Barcadia poking it wide.
Nice header out, but still Jumbos continue the pressure here, trying to put this one away with a third goal, and especially to take that second one and make it a not relevant.
Well, it's still relevant because we wouldn't be in this situation with Amherst having to change its attack had that goal not happened.
Shot just missed. Wow, that had White beat. The rip there from Rojas. 13 minutes remaining.
It's a good thing the net's there. I saw my car.
Check this rip out again with the left. How close did it come? Oh, it sailed a little higher than I expected.
At the very last minute, it started to take off.
Yeah, that started to rise for sure. All right, here comes the pressure now where Amherst, they have condensed the field. Obviously, the defense trying to play up tight. Markadija and Kyle Kelly being basically tasked with trying to run the defense back there right now. Joe Braun, you see Joe Braun back in the game. 12:15 left. Braun's got it on his foot, cross in front. Wasting some time there, Dane Lind. That was a good idea. Lind's going to have to make the extra run to keep it in bounds, and does. Keeps Amherst from being able to change fields with a long throw. Headed out of the box initially. Thrown back in again. Braun with a leave for left foot. White's all over it. Yeah, love to get that shot back, wouldn't you?
Well, White did a good job of getting low and then keeping the ball in front of him.
Trying to break out now is Lind. Kicked back is Barcadija, and this time Arrojo gets called for a shove as Giamatti was going up for that one. And they're going to have Lind take this kick and not Gittler. Well, no, Gittler's now coming back to the ball, as if to deke out the defense. Lind will serve it. It's more of a line drive to the backside. Amherst can't do much with that. Tufts is going to run onto it, and you can just see everyone's exhausted.
Tufts does such a good job of taking the ball all the way right along the touch line and not, able to control it, because you're using every space and kind of widening the field out. The amount of skill that it takes to be able to control the ball in such small stretches along the sideline, where a lot of players are going to lose possession and become thrown for the other team, just shows how Tufts is at a level just possession-wise over most teams you're going to see in Division III, and that's why they're potentially going to win their back-to-back titles in 3rd and 4 years. They're 4-0 in neutral site games coming in, so it doesn't matter to them where this game is played.
Trying to win their 4th and 6 too, because their last title in 14. Oh, nice cross in front. That's a dangerous ball. It's been headed straight up. It's still in the box. Still trouble. Bouncing down in the 18. Lind with the foot on it. It ends up bouncing in Tufts' favor. Gittler steps in front of it. Now to Gittler. He can fire from deep. Nice step in front defense by Rojas. And then Kelly boots it back up, but Giamatti couldn't get to it. Jumbo's breaking out here. Less than 10 to play. In front. White's out of the cage, and it's over the line.
He couldn't keep his balance.
Lane couldn't hold the ball.
White coming out there forced Lane to actually have to stumble one step off. You're going to see it here on the replay. Great ball coming across, Lane on the run, but White comes out and forces him to change direction, lost his balance. Opportunity done.
This is an Amherst team that scored 3 goals on center last night. Really, it was Giamatti with those 3, and this is a tough squad that scored 4 against Calvin. They put 2 against the Mammoths so far. Trying to force his way through was Giamatti. He gets it back. Nice give and go, and this time sending Lind into the corner.
Lind with tired legs trying to get to that ball.
Lind forces it back with a chip. And now Braun will try and chip it on. Kelly gets a head on it. Coleman to the near side. Ogoregeye has it. Nice turn. Feeds his teammate. Far side to Lind. Lind with a chance. Lind getting a little too cute. Now runs to his own teammate. Takes it off his foot. Left foot shot off the post. Kubedu drilled the post. What are they saying? It hit the post. There's no way that's a goal kick. He says it hit the bottom of the back of the net. We're hearing as we get a sub here. I swear that hit post.
Oh, we're going to look at this one as Kabedu shot right here. Oh, it did. Good eyes.
Hit the wheel. There's a wheel alongside, and that's what we saw, and it made it look like the post from our angle. It actually hit a wheel that's about, let's say 3 feet back. And that's what made it look like a ricochet off the post.
Well, from up here, it clearly looked like it was off the post, but Brian Miller has a much better angle on that.
Well, actually, I think Kinderman may have alerted him to it. I saw Kinderman pointing to the wheel.
Plus the AR2 is over there.
AR2 could have had a really good angle on that. Okoregeye feeds up ahead to Derby. Now they try and cross it. Not there. Defense is trying to collapse the Jumbos into their end. It's not happening. Opportunity again. Trying to dribble too much at the top of the box. And taking a fall there is Kabedu.
Amherst keeps trying to make something happen down the middle of the field. It's not working. No. They need to change tactics. 7.5 minutes to go.
Okoregeye cross in front. Opportunity, head up. And Kinderman has time, as unable to get to it off of his initial head. There was Giamatti, who looks like he got hurt on that.
It was a great attempt there by Okoregeye. You're going to see along the end line just a little, about a yard too far. Otherwise, you have a header for Giamatti.
Giamatti got hit in the back of the head there by Daly coming in to try and play the head ball himself.
Look at this angle right there.
Yeah, and you see Giamatti.
A little bit of a clip. But if that ball had been played, maybe 2 feet shorter,
take about 10% off the kick. Yeah.
Easy for us to second guess it after the fact.
Handball called on Okoregeye, which will give Tufts more time to kill the clock. 6.5 minutes left in the championship game. Tufts trying to win a second title in a row, which they have not done. They've won 3 since 2014. They're trying to win their 4th title in 6 seasons. And that's going to be a foul on Joe Braun, and he may get, just the way the whistle sounded, at least a conversation. Joe points to his head going, I don't know if he's saying I got to use my head or I wasn't thinking or what, but he maybe got away with not picking up another yellow there.
If he did get a card, he'd be suspended the first game of next year. Oh, he's a senior.
He's senior. It doesn't matter. His season is over after this. Doing a lot of dribbling here. Oh, that ball snuck in. Lind was going the other direction. Fights to get back, but can't control it. Just under 6 minutes to go. Braun trying to run onto it for the Jumbos to waste more clock. Slides out of bounds, and at least it's going to be a Jumbos throw-in if you are a Tufts fan, because that's going to waste the clock. Zach Lane throws it in to Braun. Lane. Now the Mammoths will kick it out of bounds, and more time ticks off as we approach 5 minutes to play. Substitution for the Jumbos before the clock would be stopped, though they're going to stop it anyway at 5:12 here. Oh, I'm sorry, I just looked at the clock wrong. It's still rolling. Coming into the game, Alex Ratson. And he replaces Braun, who will exit the game for the final time. The senior will get an ovation from the crowd, asking him to get off the field faster. Jumbo's in control of the ball right now, and Mammoth's running out of time. Coleman comes back to help out defensively there. Trying to get it up to Giamatti, who's had a frustrating game. Nice feed, though. Okoregeye could not hold on to it. Out of bounds, though, and they'll get a throw in here. And coming sprinting in, it comes Bryce Johnson to take this.
I know he's a weapon, but I don't think you have time for this.
Well, he only wasted so far 10 seconds. Well, now it's up to 15. Got to make this count with 4:10 left. Brilliant throw, but it headed out by the Jumbos. Coleman with it. He'll serve it far side, but I'm not sure who he was trying. If he was trying to thread the needle, Giamatti, it wasn't going to happen.
And they send the ball down the field where Johnson was. He had not come over yet from the throw.
Well, Johnson's on this side now. They've basically shifted everybody.
They did shift, you're right.
On the foot now of Kubedu. But he throws it right into a row. Will throw it upfield. And now Amherst gets it back. 3.5 minutes to play. They're trying to long ball it here. Gittler puts a foot into it. Skies it. Running onto it. And flicking it over now. Lind has it. It's going to go out of bounds. Johnson sprinting in again. This is like a corner kick for Amherst. He looks at the clock. 3:15 remaining. They need 2.
They need one quickly here.
They need one like now. It's not like they can get the kickoff. Line drive. Flick on. Back post. No one home. Kyle Kelly was in the area, as we'll get a stoppage of the clock here on a substitution by the Jumbos. Max Jacobs, the goal scorer for goal number 2, comes into the game, and he replaces Alex Ratson. 2:51 left. You need 2 goals. Time is almost up here. Not that these two teams aren't capable of scoring very quickly. Amherst has certainly done that this season. Well, that looked like a handball too on Kubedu, but Tufts didn't argue. Okereke in front, throws it there. Giamatti was there, but Kinderman with a good job of punching it out. 2.5 minutes left in the national championship.
Two teams with exceptionally small rosters.
Jumbo's trying to ice this. One-on-one with White. Trying to draw a penalty. It's not a penalty. White got the ball. It's just a toe poke by Gavin Tasker too far away. He's not going to get bailed out of that, I don't feel.
You're going to see it here. Great ball sent down the middle.
White stands tall.
Yep.
Plays the ball. Hey, actually, never touched him. Never touched him. Right?
I don't see.
No.
I don't know.
No,
I think
he then trips himself up by the patented drag your feet behind your calf move.
I thought that was off of Tasker, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think it was off of Tasker as well. Clock continues to run. 1:45 left. We get a whistle for a foul on. I think that's
might be Jacobs.
Raphael. It could be Jacobs. You're right. It's got the left.
Talking about how both these teams, very small rosters, 23 each compared to what you typically see in Division III. But what you've seen are two groups.
Okereke, you're trying to blast his way in.
That regardless of whether you have starters or reserves in, they're not losing much. There's so much competition start to finish, top to bottom on these teams. And they have battled it out here today.
Feed into the box. 65 seconds left. Amherst has pretty much run out of time here. Jumbos know it here at this point as we hit a minute. If you're a Jumbos fan, unless something goes diabolically the other direction of how they've been playing all game, this is yet another championship for this Jumbos unit. Won it in 14, won it in 16, won it in 18, and about to win it again in 19.
They're a year ahead of schedule.
Yeah, if you stick with the evens, yes. 38 seconds left. Kelly tries to get it downfield, cannot. Coleman now. Coleman will boot it, but it's 28 seconds. There's just not enough time here. The Tufts Jumbos are going to withstand a conference rival, revenge a win just like the Messiah women did, or revenge a loss just like the Messiah women did against William Smith. They're going to walk away with a national title when it matters the most. And Amherst, only their second loss of the season, has 3 seconds left. Kinderman will come out and grab it, and this one is over. Your Tufts Jumbos are national champs with a 2-0 win over Amherst. Your 2019 Division III men's soccer champion is a repeat.
Congratulations to the Tufts Jumbos on winning the national championship.
They now have bragging rights on the Medford, Massachusetts campus, because while men's lacrosse has 3 titles, the Jumbos men's soccer program has 4.
Job that Josh Shapiro has done up there in 10 seasons, turning this program into the new king of Division III. Yes, Messiah has the most titles of all time, but it's what have you done for me lately? And lately, it has been Tufts.
Seeing a conversation on the sideline between on the middle of the field, I think, with both coaches, and it looks like it was a conversation regarding the well, not the one of the assistant coaches and head coaches. I think it was a conversation regarding brawn and the elbow. Well, here's the thing. You mentioned Messiah. The only champion since 2014 that hasn't been a NESCAC champ is Messiah. But Tufts has won 4 now in that time frame. Amherst won, Messiah won. This has been all about the Jumbos as they win their 4th title, as we mentioned.
You see a lot of disappointment here from the Amherst players, consoling each other, but you know what? They're going to be back.
Oh, sure.
So much. You saw Giamatti down, obviously a huge look of disappointment on his face. Just a sophomore. So much youth on this Amherst squad. And, you know, barring injuries or somebody, you know, transferring or something like that, I can't imagine why this program won't be back in the picture.
Interesting moment there. That was Justin Serpone, the head coach of Amherst, talking with Joe Braun of Tufts. He's obviously knows this team well, but a lighthearted moment there. And obviously Coach Serpone congratulating his conference rivals. But we'll point out, by the way, coming up, you will get to see the trophy presentation once Ira and I sign off here. You'll see that here on the stream for both teams. Both teams will get trophies for their participation in this tournament. Great sportsmanship, obviously, from both of these teams. Ira, last thoughts before we sign off.
I think you have to appreciate the effort of Amherst. They've been a dominant team all year, a deserving team to be in this final. But Tufts has risen to a level now that a lot of teams are going to have to figure out how they're going to match up to be able to elevate themselves to be on a similar level. The defense that Tufts runs, it's almost impossible. It's a riddle, it's a puzzle, and the piece is not evident right now, especially in the NCAA tournament. They get to these finals and they don't lose.
Herman Giamatti has a chance. He's got 2 more years to try and figure out that Tufts riddle for Amherst to see if they can win their 2nd title here in Division III men's soccer. We'll get you over to the ceremony here shortly. I want to thank the entire crew who did incredible work through 6 games this weekend, and especially the cool weather at night here in Greensboro. I want to thank everybody at Greensboro, UNC Greensboro especially, for their help and their work to pull off these championships for a 3rd straight year, and of course to both committees for their hard work as well. For Ira Thor, our entire production crew, I'm Dave McHugh. Congratulations not only to Tufts on winning a national championship, but to the Messiah women as well. The Jumbos defeat the Mammoths 2-0. Tufts Jumbos now a 22-2 season, and the 2019 Division III national champions. Good night, everybody.
Amherst, number 10, Cutler Coleman. Amherst, number 1, Kyle Kelly. From Tufts, number 5, Joe Braun. From Tufts, number 7, Zach Lane. From Tufts, number 3, Will Raphael. An all-tournament selection and the tournament's most outstanding defensive player. From Tufts, number 20, Kelvin Arrow. In an all-tournament selection, and the tournament's most outstanding offensive player. From Tufts, number 2, Gavin Tasker. Ladies and gentlemen, how about one more round of applause for our all-tournament team? And now, the runner-up team in the 2019 NCAA Division III Men's Soccer Championship. Finishing with a record of 19-2-2, the Amherst Mammoths. Presenting the awards is the National Soccer Committee. First, the players. Number 00, Will Glenn. Number 0, Courtney Hope Gund. Number 1, Kyle Kelly. Number 2, Ben King. Number 3, Jimmy McMillan. Number 4, Dylan Steele. Number 5, Bryce Johnson. Number 6, Sean Dubé. Number 7, Dane Lind. Number 8, Alex Shamirzadi. Number 9, Herman Giamatti. Number 10, Cutler Coleman. Number 11, Jack O'Brien. Number 12, Felix Wu. Number 15, Declan Sung. Number 16, Sebastian Derby. Number 17, Sean Rapal. Number 19, Daniel Arizmendi. Number 21, Ignacio Cubido. Number 23, Ada Okorogine. Number 24, Andrew Bacagia. Number 27, Nico Canary. Number 33, Gabe Gittler. And number 50, Bernie White. From the support staff, the athletic trainer, Kathy Chiganowski. The SIT, Melissa Martin. The athletic director, Don Kulstig. The assistant coaches, Matt Travis, Derek Shea, and Jeff Huffman. And finally, the head coach of the Amherst Mammoths, Justin Sarpone. And now we present to the Mammoths our National Runner-Up Trophy. If the captains could please come forward to accept this award. Ladies and gentlemen, have another round of applause for the Amherst Mammoths. And now, the 2019 NCAA Division III Men's Soccer National Champions. Finishing with a record of 22-2, the Tufts Jumbos. First, the players. Number 0, Harry Whitesell. Number 1, Eric Kinderman. Number 2, Gavin Tasker. Number 3, Will Raphael. Number 4, Logan Shin. Number 5, Joe Braun. Number 6, Derek Enke. Number 7, Zach Lane. Number 9, Max Jacobs. Number 10, Brett Rojas. Number 12, Marty Cano. Number 13, Travis Van Brewer. Number 14, Zach Trevorrow. Number 15, Alex Ratson. Number 16, Biagio Paletta. Number 17, Zach Singelstein. Number 18, Eric Ingersoll. Number 19, Sean Trainer. Number 20, Calvin Arrow. Number 21, Rolando Rabinez. Number 22, Eden Welsh. Number 23, Tanner Jameson. Number 24, Drew Stern. Number 27, Ian Daly. Number 28, Ian Sinkowitz. Number 31, Jacob Tides. Number 32, Zach Dressens. And Bryce Fisnick. And now the support staff for the Jumbos. Athletic trainer, Mike Bonoponia. Manager, Cole Schreiber. PSID, Paul Sweeney. And the athletic director, John Morris. The assistant coaches, Jordan Chivitelli and Fernando Valencia. And finally, the head coach of the Tufts Jumbos, Josh Shapiro. And now, ladies and gentlemen, presenting the National Championship Trophy to the Tufts Jumbos. If the captains could please come forward to accept this award. Ladies and gentlemen, have another round of applause for our 2019 National Champions, the Tufts Jumbos. On behalf of the NCAA and our host institution, the University of North Carolina at Greensboro, we thank you for your attendance at the 2019 NCAA Division III Women's and Men's Soccer Championships. Please remember that UNC Greensboro will host the 2020 Division III Men's and Women's Soccer Championships December 4th and 5th, right here at the UNCG Soccer Stadium in Greensboro, North Carolina next year. Once again, congratulations to our champions, the Messiah Falcons and the Tufts Jumbos. Everyone have a safe trip home, and we'll see you next year.